Good afternoon, HAR members. Welcome to the virtual event series, COVID-19 virtual event series. We have with us today Verl Workman, who has a great presentation for you guys called Build for the Bounce. So we're gonna have him share that, and he has a presentation for us. He's gonna be interactive with us in the chat and the questions and things like that. So we will get to all that. A couple quick announcements before we get started. As you are typing things into the chat, or typing actually just into the chat. If you're typing something into the chat, if you want the panelists, so Verl and I, to see it only, make sure it says panelists. If you want everybody to see it, maybe it's a question or a comment that you want everyone to see, make sure you select panelists and all attendees so that everyone can see that. We do have some HAR staff also that are on this call, so if it's a question that would be best for an HAR staff person to answer, they can answer that as well. So you can type those into the comments. And again, remember, we do have more of these scheduled on the 30th. So in a couple days, 2 days, we are going to have Dr. Ted C. Jones give us an economic forecast. So make sure you sign up for that and all of our upcoming virtual events on har.com/webinars. So with that, Verl, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that you can start sharing yours. And if you don't know Verl, you're about to get to know him now. He is the founder and CEO of Workman Success Systems. He's got some amazing programs that he has built to help himself, to help realtors all around the country. So he's going to talk to you guys today and share a ton of info with you. So go ahead and take the floor, Verl.
Thanks, Christine, and welcome everybody. How are all my friends in Houston? What a great day. I got up this morning after not sleeping last night, and I was just excited. I was excited about the day. There's so many amazing things happening right now. I'd like to encourage everybody to go into your chat bar, find your chat bar, and just say hi. Say hello, let me know. It's good to see you there, and let me know you're all here. And also, I want you to be able to use that chat bar to ask me questions. So Ruth and Kathy and Sherman, welcome, welcome. Gaylord, Dina, it's fun to have you here. I'm going to talk today about what's going on. Now, Christina talked about building for the bounce and what's going on. I've been thinking about that a lot. And what I wanted to do today is I want to give you some real tactical information, some things that you can use right now that will make a difference in your business. You know, a lot of people are trying to figure out what to do, and they're trying to figure out what's going on in the marketplace and all of those things. And I'm going to share with you some data and some energy and some enthusiasm of what and how to communicate with your clients. And then I'm going to show you, if that's okay with everybody, how to become a true master of virtual real estate. Like it's a crazy world we're living in, and we've all gone virtual. How many of you are absolutely dressed for success from the waist up today? Like we got up and we showered and we look good from here up, because you might have to get on a Zoom call. I want you to know that I'm wearing shorts. So I have my shorts on with my sport jacket and my shirt. I look good, but I'm absolutely comfortable. And there's no reason we can't be comfortable, because we're doing business in a virtual world right now. So have a little bit of fun. Don't take yourself too seriously, and let's get into it. And so I'm going to share my screen with you really quick. Let's do that. Poor Christina, she has no idea what she's in for today. She just like hope it works. Now, so I'm going to go ahead and hit play. And so let's just get into it. So I'm going to share with you a couple things. Now, are you seeing my Verl Workman picture? Okay. And there's a couple things I'm going to give you. So I'm in the mood to give stuff away. Is everybody okay if I give you free stuff today? Like, I've just decided that if I just give everything away, then we don't have to worry about selling stuff. So there's not going to be any sales pitch. I don't have any offer today. There's nothing. Anyone's going to get a credit card. There's none of that. All I want to do is I'm going to talk to you about some things that you can use, and then I'm just going to give them to you. And I'm going to put them on a landing page. It's called workmansuccess.com/virtual Houston. Take a picture of this screen, because I'm just going to download. I'm going to dump. And so if you see something that's really cool and you want it, I'm just going to give it to you. Fair enough? All right. So let's go. So let's talk about what's been going on in the world. Now, I was just in Austin in December, and I was in Austin. We were looking at where we're going to do our big teams event next January. And we went from hotel to hotel. I found all these great hotels, and Austin's such a cool place. I just love Texas. And so I'm in Austin. It's a little bit weird. especially if you're from Salt Lake City, where we're all pretty square. And so we're walking around in Austin, and my wife and I decided that we were going to go find some local art studios. We wanted to find people that were doing cool stuff with art. And so what we did is we went into this old house that had been converted into a gallery where local artists could come put their art in. And I saw this piece of art. Now, I don't know why this spoke to me, but it just did. And I'm not a guy that like if I spend $200 on a piece of art, I'm really gone crazy. And so when I saw this, I was like, all right, why does this speak to me? And it speaks to me because it's called Just Press Pause. And what if you look at it, it's actually kind of cool. It's 3 pieces of acrylic that has watercolor on it. But when you stack them together, it shows chaos around you and then a pause sign in the middle. And what it said to me was, hey, bro, sometimes you got to just press pause and you just got to enjoy all the chaos going on around you because you can't control it. So this sits in my office between, that's a COVID-free call, I promise. It sits between mine and my daughter's office because we both go 1,000,000 miles an hour. And every once in a while, we have to tell each other just to walk outside and hit pause. So let's just press pause for just a minute. So this is what I think has happened to our economy. So when you think about what's going on in the world out there, I was thinking about that this morning, is that, we didn't hit the stop button and we didn't hit the delete button, but like we were just killing it. Like January, February, even halfway into March, all of our business was cranking. And then someone just hit pause and everything just kind of went into pause. And I believe that just like the pause button, someone's going to hit pause again, and it's just going to start up, and we're going to have this amazing transformation. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think about what happens when we push pause again and where you want to be. So a lot of people have withdrawn and they've pulled back. I think it's a great opportunity for us to capture market share. We don't create any new business, Christina. All we do is take other people's. Now, I don't know if that's a nice way to think about it, but like you're not creating new business. All you're going to do is go get market share. So if you're going to increase your market share when everybody else is pulling back, somebody else is going to go down. We have this crazy thing with unemployment rates, and I love keeping current matters. This is from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics and NAR, and it shows since 1989 that unemployment rates have not really had any direct relationship on housing sales. People sell houses because of life events that occur. And those life events are continuing to happen today. People are losing their jobs, moving, relocating, getting married, getting divorced, having all their kids move out, having all their kids move in. There are all these life events that are happening that cause real estate transactions to occur. We can't control it. Like, nobody moves because of their realtor. Like, I know you all think you're really that important, but the reality is that they move because of things going on in their own lives, not because of things going on in your life. And so if you run around with commission breasts hoping you can talk someone into moving, you're in the wrong business. All we have to do is create a safe environment for them to be able to move forward in times that are uncertain to many. And so what we have to do is change the way we look at what our role is in real estate. It's not to get people to move, it's to be true consultants and industry experts on helping them move forward. I want you to think about that. This is really interesting. When you look at the breakdown in the labor statistics of who's really unemployed, it's kind of an interesting chart. So when I look at this, 59.5% of the people employed right now are in food service and drinking places. So what does that tell you? It tells us that when the economy comes back and people start eating out again, there's going to be an increase of jobs going back into the marketplace. It's a false sense of unemployment. I mean, it's real. People are unemployed. They don't have jobs, but they're going to come back in a big way fast. I thought this was really interesting, Christina. 6.1% of the jobs that are lost are in healthcare and office workers. And that's because nobody can do elective surgeries. My orthopedic surgeon can't fix my knee or my shoulder. They can only do, trauma. Like if you're in the hospital, you get a wreck or whatever. And so all of their offices are struggling and their hospitals are hurting. But they're talking about in many markets, and I know Texas is really proactive at getting back to work, and that they're opening these things back up again. When that opens it back up again, the people that have money to buy houses we'll get right back into it because their life events never stopped occurring. Childcare workers, oh my gosh, I love this one. Only 2.7% of the unemployment is childcare workers, and that 2.7%, they're going to get back to work, and we're going to pay them more because we've just been dealing with our own kids and realize how hard it is. So as soon as we can go back to childcare workers, we're going to engage them again and pay them more. I love this. This is recent. This is as of 4/1. And, you know, it's going to change, but Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, they had a big announcement this morning talking about this V-shaped recovery. Well, this is what they're projecting. And they're talking about the end of Q2 being the bottom. And now we're on a trajectory in quarters 3 and 4 to gain back our gross domestic product. And I think that's awesome. What that tells me is that there's a lot of cool things that are happening. Joel says, why does this chart not show oil and gas unemployment? Because oil and gas unemployment didn't happen until after that chart was made. That's just the last week when they were paying you $35 a barrel to take oil off their hands because they overproduced it. And it's going to be really interesting. And I know that that affects Texas more than other places in the country. And we're watching very closely. But unfortunately, those are life events that occur that cause people to transact. And so I hate that anybody is going through it, but it's part of, we have to provide that safe environment for them to transact when their livelihoods are affected because of what's going on with oil and gas or the coronavirus or hurricanes or all of the other things that cause life events to happen. And so I want to talk about 4 points today if I can. And I hope I have enough time to do this. We need about 3 hours, Christina, but I'm going to try and do it in the 55 minutes that you've given me. So the first one is I'm going to talk about the choice of accountability and how we need to control ourselves and our actions. The second thing I want to talk about virtualizing the services that you have out there. And then the last thing, or the third thing, is to provide information of valuable services to be a true trusted advisor to your clients, and then how to go above and beyond. Christina, when you opened this up today, you said Verl's going to talk about how to prepare for the bounce, what that bounce means. And so I want to talk to you about that for just a minute, because I think that we are, okay, so I don't want to dismiss anybody who's talking about pivoting or shifting, but I think those are the wrong terms to use for what's going on right now. All right, so one of the advantages of being on home arrest is we get to spend more time with our kids. Now, I have 6, so I want you to think about that. I have 6 kids. 3 of them are married. I have 10 grandkids, and so 3 of my kids are at home. I have a freshman in college. She's been sent home. I've got a freshman in high school. He's a dork. And I have a 12-year-old who's an angel that can do no wrong and is getting perfect grades and loves homeschooling. So I have I have college, junior high school, and high school represented at home. Well, my 15-year-old son, Jake, he's a good kid, but he's a little bit high-strung. He plays competitive soccer. He's out going all the time. So imagine putting him on home arrest. It's been, he's climbing the walls. We're in the process of building a half pipe in our backyard right now, because he wants to be out. He can't go to the skate park and do all the things he loves to do. Well, one of the things that happens as I'm on home arrest is that every day, at least once a day, Jake comes to me and he says, "Hey, Dad, let's go play basketball." Now, I don't know if you guys appreciate this, but I'm old and I'm overweight and I'm slow. So when your 15 athletic son comes to you and says, "Let's play basketball," that's a big win. That's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going, let's go." And so I can pretty much kick his trash in horse. But if we go one-on-one, Jake, he's faster. He can actually jump. I can't jump. So, Jake comes and we go out and play. I was watching the other day and we're playing, and I'm playing defense. Jake has the ball, and I decided I was going to close the gap. So I got right up behind him so he couldn't move forward. He stopped dribbling. The moment he stopped dribbling, then in order for him to do anything, all he can do is pivot. So he firmly planted his left foot, and with his right foot, he moved back and forth. And I thought, what a stupid thing. You no longer can move towards the basket. All you're doing is spinning around and trying to avoid the defense. And so when people talk about the pivot, I think, well, why do you want to do that? How about we keep bouncing the ball? How about we keep moving forward towards our goal and doing things that we can control? But the moment you stop dribbling and you start pivoting is you stop making progress. And all you're doing is trying to avoid the problem. So I would rather have you put your shoulder down and lean into the problem than to stop dribbling and pivot. I believe that and this is Verl's personal opinion, is that these life events that continue to occur are going to cause us to be and have a significant bounce in the marketplace. And when that bounce occurs, we have to decide where we want to be on the ball. Do you want to be at the top of the ball during the bounce, or do you want to be on the bottom of the ball during the bounce? Christina, I'll let you answer that. Where do you want to be? Top of the ball. There you go. Right. What happens to the bug on the bottom of the ball? He gets squashed. Right. Nobody wants to be there. So let's talk about that. How do we get there? And so I'm going to start with, we have to be able to adapt. You know, having agility and being adaptive and planning in advance will give us an incredible unfair competitive advantage as the bounce occurs. I got to move this off my screen for just 1 second. There you go. It's, you know, real estate has always been a game of the survival of the fittest. From NAR, 87% of real estate agents fail or quit within the first 5 years. You're more likely to quit or fail when things get tough. COVID-19 is changing the landscaping of, it changes the landscape of everything. And it really takes the fittest and it elevates them to a greater extreme. There becomes a greater separation between that average agent doing 5 to 7 deals and the ones that are doing 200 and 300. And so where do you want it to go? Lisa says, I want to make all threes in here, swoosh, right? I can do that, Lisa. We can hang out with that as long as I don't have to run or jump. I can hit 3-pointers all day long. Survival of the fittest means the ones who thrive in difficult environments are the ones that adapt. And adaptations will help the fittest agents expand their marketplace and capture market share. And that's absolutely the goal. So how do you stay ahead of the curve? You have to adapt to the current circumstance. Look, you've got to be safe. We can't tell people whether or not they should move forward or not move forward. What we have to do is create a safe environment that will allow them to go forward. Okay, we have to determine which changes we're going to implement long term. I don't know how many of you are thinking this, but how many of you are doing things today that you hope never go back to the way it used to be? Like, I can think of some right now. So, and you can put them in the chat if you want to. So one of the things that I think about right now is the way that we're working with buyers. Like we do not go put a buyer in our car unless they are approved, unless they've looked at it online, unless we've done a virtual walkthrough, and then now we go out and look at the 1 or 2 houses. So instead of spending 20 hours driving buyers around, we're spending 1 hour online eliminating those same 20 houses, and then we're going out to the 1 or 2 they want to see, and we're getting them under contract. That is so much more effective. Like, why would you ever want to go back to driving people around again? I don't ever want to go back. Someone said virtual open houses. I absolutely agree. I think we're going to have a menu of services that we provide, and then we're going to have another menu that's an entire menu of virtual services that are part of our standard operating agreements going forward. And I absolutely love that. So a lot of energy around this topic, Christina. So we got to determine.
Did you see Marcus had a quick question? What would you say is the most important thing to focus on to get ahead of others?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna share that with you. So stay with me, Marcus, through the whole presentation, and I'm gonna share the things it's the 4 things I'm talking about right now. It's determining which things you're gonna implement long term. It's operational excellence. It's focusing on what you can control. So every morning when I get up, Christina, I get up and I have this, I talk to myself. My wife thinks I'm a little bit crazy. I'll be in the bathroom. She's like, hey, who are you talking to in there? I'm like, oh, no one. And what I'm doing is I'm saying, all right, what can you focus on today? What can you control? And then I focus on the things that I can control. I can control whether or not I prospect. I can control whether or not I'm following up with leads. I can control whether or not I'm creating a safe environment for people to transact. I can control my attitude and the things that I express to others. I think the only thing more contagious than the coronavirus is a bad attitude. And you can control that. So why don't we? So focus on what you can control. Start with that. Okay. All right. So next is you have to make a powerful choice to create an environment of accountability. Accountability is love. It's not something that someone does to you. So because I can only see Christina on the video right here, that's why I'm talking to her. But I can tell by just looking at Christina that I cannot make her do anything she doesn't want to do. Is that true, Christina? It's absolutely true.
Very
She's not
true.
going to be, yeah, right. So I can't hold you accountable. All I can do is create an environment where you choose accountability. And if you don't choose accountability, then that you suffer the consequence of that. Mm-hmm. And so what does that mean? What does accountability mean? It means that you have to decide in advance what you're going to do this week and then focus on those things. And so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to every day get up and sorry, I'm not saying this to you, Christina, because I know you already did, but I want you to take a shower, and I want you to dress for success, and I want you to be professional every single day, just like you would if you were going to the office. When we dress for success, it changes the way we feel about engagement. But when you haven't showered and your hair's a mess and you got crap in your eyes and your breath stinks, even though you could do it virtually, you are trepidatious. You don't want to move forward because you don't feel presentable. And so you're going to avoid opportunities to engage with people. We're socially distancing, but I believe we should be physically distancing and socially engaging. Like I can see Christina, we're smiling at each other and talking to each other on this webinar right now. And so we're socially connecting, but we're physically distancing. So we're not at risk of getting each other infected with anything but a bad attitude. That's contagious. So we can be socially connected, but we have to get up and we have to get dressed for success. And then you need to decide what you're going to do each day. You got to minimize your distractions. I don't know if anyone suffers from this. I love anybody else watching Jimmy Fallon. I love watching Jimmy Fallon when his cute little daughters are climbing on his head and they're drawing pictures. And I think he has captured what the American people are okay with from a virtual distraction behaviors. But we do need to set rules with our kids. I think that you need to cherish the time you have with them. Like when Jake says, Dad, let's go play basketball, pretty much no matter what I'm doing, unless I'm in the middle of a live webinar like this, I'll put my computer and I'll shut it. I'll say, let's go, because these moments aren't going to come back. And look, when you're 15, your dad's just not cool. But when he's the only friend you can play with, he's cool for a minute. So I'm going to take advantage of those moments where Jake thinks I'm cool, and I'm going to go out and hang out with him because they're not going to come back. I want those. And so like this gal here, her kids are bugging her. What I want her to do right now is just stop and just love them. Just hug them. They just, look at those kids. They just need a hug, and I want to love on them, and then I want to get them going on doing something else so I can get back to work. But cherish the time you have with your kids, because you're going to wish that you had that time back. There's going to be a time when you look back at the COVID-19 and you're going to say, I wish I would have taken advantage of being home. So please cherish the time that you have with your families, because you can't get it back. Once it's gone, it's gone. All right, so the next thing is I want to talk a little bit about our teams, our offices. I want you to stay connected. You know, being connected is one of the ways that we have for accountability. So Christina, if we have a call every day, you and I, and you give me the list and you make some commitments of things you're going to do, and I give you my list, and the next day we talk about whether or not we did it, that incorporates this culture of accountability that allows us to keep promises we make. I know if you make me a promise that I can count on it, right? But if you don't make the promise out loud into somebody else, you're likely to not keep the promise you made to yourself. Is that true?
That's very true.
I mean, how many times have you said, I'm going to go to the gym or start a diet on Monday? And then you don't.
Let's
you don't
not
need
get
to
into
do,
it.
Yeah, you don't need to do either one of those, but I make those promises all the time. But unless I hire a trainer that meets me there, I have a hard time going. And so I need the accountability. And if I'm paying for accountability, it even has greater value. Isn't that true?
That's very true, yes.
All right, so we got to stay connected. So this is a team call where the team's getting on, they have accountability partners, they're practicing the virtual services, you know, practicing a virtual listing presentation, a virtual buyer presentation, and they're doing accountability, and it absolutely matters. This is one of my teams in Westchester, New York, right in the epicenter of the coronavirus. And he sent me this last night. And he said, hey, bro, this is what I'm doing to have fun with my team, is we had everybody post a picture of their kids, and we all had to match it up with a team member, decide who the kid was, and match it up with a team member and see if we could figure out who they were. We're doing things to stay engaged and connected, and they are completely shut down, meaning they don't get to go and list, show houses, but they're listing and closing houses. They did 5 listings this week, and they closed 5 transactions in the last week. So they're working in the business. They're just working differently in the business. And he's working really hard at staying connected. So Christy Buck, one of my coaching clients there in Houston, out in the Friendswood area in Pearland, I asked Christy, I said, Christy, what are you doing to stay in touch? She said, well, I've created a team accountability list of all the things that I want to make sure happen with my team. And then every night they have to fill out a Google sheet that fills out a tracking form. And it says, did you send out your 20 texts of the day? Have you touched on your top 50 on Facebook? Did you send out note cards? If yes, how many? How many hours did you prospect? This is your keeping your team accountable chart. And if you look at this chart right here, this is one of the downloads I'm going to give you all. And this comes right from the amazing Christy Buck's team and how she thinks about doing accountability with her team virtually. It's interesting, and I love Mary's comment. Mary says, my schedule is fuller than ever, and I miss some scheduled events. Besides work, real estate webinars, I'm connected to my community, devotionals, group studies. So true, so true. And like I've never worked so hard for so little. Does anybody else feeling that way? It's like I'm leaning into the problem and working harder instead of pulling back. And so we ask for their daily success habits. We ask for the activities, and then they tell us what they did. And you know what? People fall short. And when they fall short, we don't beat them up. We encourage them and we celebrate the wins, and then we train to the gaps. And so anyway, those are just important things. Prospecting daily, guys. Prospecting daily. This is a big challenge. People don't know what to do to prospect. How do you prospect when everyone's got coronavirus on the mind? Stop selling and start serving. Okay, I'm going to say that again because it's really important to me that you all understand it. Stop selling and start serving. People don't need to be sold anything right now. They need to know how you can help. They want you to call them up and say, Christina, this is Verl. How's your family? And then really care. Like, Christina, I want to really know how you're doing, how your family's doing. Have you been affected by all the stuff that's going on? And is there anything I can do to help? And what if she said, you know what? I can't find toilet paper. Christina, I will move heaven and earth to get you some toilet paper. I'll give you my own toilet paper to make sure you have some. Not because I hope you do real estate with me, but because I genuinely care. And if you're having a struggle, then I want to do what I can to help. And so I believe that if we take care of people and we do the right things regardless of the opportunity, that there will be plenty of opportunity. But if you serve because you want the business, then they recognize that. So you have to remove the serve because of opportunity and say serve regardless of opportunity. So just serve. So when you prospect, it's how can I help? What can I do? I was sitting with my wife the other night. We were watching, you're going to find out what shows I watch. We were watching Songland. And Songland is about these three writers that are great songwriters. And artists come in, and then songwriters get to present their songs, and then these writers work with them, and then they develop a song, and then it gets published, and it becomes a big hit. Well, during the commercial of Songland last week, there was a commercial, and it was all about first responders, and it showed nurses and doctors, and I thought it was going to be one of those COVID-19 things. And then at the end, it says, thank you for not taking Uber. It was an Uber commercial saying, thanks for not taking Uber. What if, I'm just throwing this out here, Christina, I'm just making this up right now while I'm standing here. I'm sitting to my wife, and I'm like, that is so powerful. What if we did that with expired listings? And instead of calling them, seeing if we could sell their house, what if we called them and thanked them for taking their house off the market and protecting our real estate community as well as their families without any strings attached? I'm just calling to say thank you. Thank you for what? Thank you for taking your house off the market when it's risky to show properties. And I just want you to know that we appreciate that. And if at any point you ever want to put it back on, I'm going to give you a free kit that'll allow you to have safe showings. Whether you list with me or sell with me or not, I just want you to know we appreciate you keeping our family safe while you keep your family safe. And Melanie, the cool thing about ideas is you don't have to like them. You can only pick the ones you like and use those, right? And so just do what you like. I don't care. Like seriously, all we can do is what we're comfortable doing. Someone's going to call these people and they're going to try and list. We have a tremendous amount of people out there that put their houses under contract with iBuyers, with what are the, like Zillow offers, Open Door, OfferPad. And then overnight, they canceled every single contract. And all these people had their houses under contract, and they had emotionally started moving. And all of a sudden, now they're expired or withdrawn or off the market. And no one's reaching out to them, thanking them. No one's reaching out to them saying, hey, how you doing? I know you guys are planning on moving. I'm sorry. What if we were that person that reached out to other people and just said, how can I help? Not what can I sell? Changes the attitude, but prospect. So call expireds, for sell by owners, withdrawals. There's a whole bunch of things that we can do that are different. Just don't sit around and hope something happens differently. So I created a website. This is so we have a training center. We sell this, and it's called it's the Workman Success Training Center, where we do specialist training for buyers agents, listing agents, admins, and a brand new program called RAMP. And I went to the guys who I use to create the whole back offices, and I pay a per user fee, and I asked them for free access if I put up a new site called Build for the Bounce till the end of May. And so I'm going to give you all on the landing page, I'm going to give you a website. You can all go log in. There's no credit card. There's no contract. I'm just going to give you access to my full training for the next 30 days so you know exactly what to do. So you can use this for prospecting, for overcoming objections, for building your listing stuff, operational excellence. It's all built in the Build for Bounce Training Center. And I'm just going to, is it okay if I give it to everybody, Christina? I'm just going to give it to everybody, okay? And by the way,
I think they'll be okay with that.
You can be okay with that? All right. And I sell it for $199 a month per person. So that's what I'd sell it for, but I'm just going to give it to everybody. I use RedX, Monica, for go to theredx.com for expired and FSBOs, okay? This is Nate Martinez. He's one of my broker owners. That's one of our coaching clients that started to coach with me a couple of years ago. And last year, 2019, he finally hit 7 figures, so $1 million in gross closed income. And as a broker owner, he now offers the same training center to his agents as a brokerage. And it all started with the Daily Success Habits Tracker, which is in BAM Session 3. And so it goes into BAM Session 3. Now this one, hang on, I got to fix that one. There you go. Okay, so this is really cool. I'm going to give you some dialogue. You guys want some good, great dialogue? Like when someone says, how's the market? Like what do most agents say? Okay, I want you all to type in what you say when someone says, how's the market? So use your chat box and I want you to type in, how's the market?
While they type that in, I'm going to say that screenshot looks awfully familiar.
Oh yeah, we know what we're doing. Outstanding, it's changing, fantastic. Okay, so Lee and John and Melanie, love that. Love the dialogue. Depends on what section of the market you're in. Great, it's crazy. It depends where. More virtual. Okay, it's great. What do you want to know? Okay, those are, okay, most of those are good, but they're all sales dialogues. When someone says, how's the market? I want you to say, are you by your computer? Let's stop giving them our opinion, because the moment we give them our opinion, we move from consultant into salesperson. And nobody wants to be sold right now. So when someone says, Christine, I need you to role play with me. So come off mute for a second.
All right.
Christine, ask me how the market is.
How's the market, Verl?
Oh man, I'm so glad you asked. Are you by your computer?
I actually am.
Guess what? Everybody is right now. And so it's the greatest dialogue. So now, all of a sudden, our phone call turns into a Zoom call where we can connect face to face. And now I can see her body language and her smile and her happy disposition. Or I can see if she's stressed or really concerned. And I'll say, let me just show you how the market is. And then I want you to go right live into HAR.com, and I want you to pull up your market watch and say, Christine, in your neighborhood, there's been 81 new listings. 25 people put their houses back on the market, really cool. 77 have done price reductions, which I think is great if you're looking to buy right now. So we've had 96 go pending. What does that mean? Has real estate stopped?
No, it hasn't.
No, somebody just pressed pause. And then look at that. Those people are transacting. By the way, folks, if you're looking at this chart and you're not doing any of these transactions, the difference between the agents doing deals and the ones who are not, it has nothing to do with the quality of the agent. It only has to do with the activities that they're focused on during their day. I have amazing people doing zero business and they are sucking air financially. And I have some pretty average people that are knocking it out of the park. The difference is the activities you focus on. So when someone says, how's the market? I want you to use the Verl dialogue. I wrote this. I came up with this. I own it. Are you by your computer? Yep, All right, let's take a look. Okay, so you like that one? Debbie likes it. Brilliant, she says. Latasha says, I get it. There you go. Sherry's in. Okay, we got some raving fans. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to have scripts. I'm a big script and dialogue guy, so I practice scripts for everything. Like someone says, how you doing? I say, you buy your computer. How's the market? You buy your computer. When I'm prospecting or having a conversation with a buyer or seller, we have to lead with COVID-19 because it's on the front of everybody's mind. And so right now, when we're doing follow-up calls to people in our boomtown or HAR leads or leads that have come in from any source, I want to call them and say, hi, this is Verl. Hi, hey, this is Verl with CB&A Realtors here in Houston. I'm just making my COVID-19 follow-up calls. I want to touch base with you and your family and see how you're doing. Christina, is there any way that I can be damaged with that call?
I don't think so.
Then just listen. So we're here to help you. Is there anything you need? Is there anything we can do right now?
Mm-hmm.
Is there?
Well, no, I'm good.
Okay. Hey, well, that's okay, but I really want to know, so I'm glad you're good. Just so you know, some of our clients have decided to step back from like buying and selling right now, and we support them 100%. But others are proceeding as usual, and we're supporting them with the new procedures that we've put in place for being safe through smart showings, virtual services, and more. And so what I want to use with this dialogue is I want to be genuine with how you're doing, and I'm going to let you know that if you want to pull back, I'm supporting that. And if you want to move forward, we have a way to keep you safe in that process too. And so we've created great dialogue for you to have meaningful conversations with people without being salesy.
Very good. Indu just had a quick question. What if they're not by their computer?
Now, why do you want to give me a hard question? I mean, seriously. Like, I want to
That's
know
what I'm
where
here
you
for,
are.
Verl. That's what I'm here
You
for.
got some attitude. I'll take some attitude with you. If they're not by their computer, then when will you be? So I'm not by my computer. Oh yeah, me either. When will you be? Are you by your phone? Yeah. How many people you know don't have a smartphone? Get the Zoom app on their phone, download the Zoom app, and you can do the same thing on their phone. So like, it's pretty rare that they're not by their computer. I will be in 20 minutes because I'm home arrest. So when you're back at home, let's get on the phone. I'll show you what's going on in the marketplace.
Great.
Okay. Okay, so there you go. I just picked up my phone to show what that would look like. Christina wants to know if I'm going to be on the webinar today. I will be here, Christina. I will be here, and I'll be on time.
And we are so glad that you are here and you were on time.
All right, so number one is create a world of accountability. Choose what you can control, prospect, have good dialogue, practice the things that you're going to say with other people, okay? And just make it easy. You can look for reasons not to do things, or you can figure out, how can I do that? Like, I love that question. How can I solve that? What would I do differently? How can I make that work? Okay? So this next one is virtualize your services to fit current and future needs of the client. And so I'm going to give you a list of the virtual services menu that I believe every agent should have right now. And so this will be in my downloads. It's the virtual services menu, but you should be able to do a virtual buyer show, a virtual listing and marketing presentation. I should be able to do virtual open houses with agents, virtual Zoom meetings. I want to be able to do a virtual inspection report analysis, a virtual investor meeting. And so make a list of all these things that you want to have in your included virtual services. You know, they're workmanized right now. Make them yours and offer them. Inside that free training program that I just gave everybody for till the end of May it's your complete virtual buyer and seller presentations. They're in there, and they're in the SLAM program and the RAMP program. So I encourage you to log in and just go through it and do it. I want you to just like kick butt. Okay, so virtual open houses. This is a true virtual open house. And so Caitlin is on Facebook Live doing a virtual open house. There's different ways we can do this. We can use a Zoom, and we can use listing invitation. We can use information that would be in the virtual tour and go through the virtual tour using Zoom. I like when you do virtual open houses to start with a satellite map of the area from an aerial view, and then zoom into the house to get a better understanding of the things that are around the home and what's located nearby. And then when you go in the home, and just like you would in a live showing, walk people through the house. And so you can set the event up in advance on Facebook, and you can invite friends, prospects, B buyers and C buyers, and everybody comes to it. And there's some real big advantages to doing that. Some iPhone users don't like or they refuse to use Zoom. because they've been hacked. So what I like to tell people is get WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is a free app that's downloadable on your phone that you can also turn video on with, and that gives you the ability to do the virtual walkthrough. Okay, other thing, let me see here. Okay, another way is just using your smartphone. And so if you're doing a live open house, you can do it on, what do you call it? You can do it on Facebook Live, or you can do it on FaceTime. If they don't both have iPhones and FaceTime doesn't work, that's when you would use a WhatsApp. But I would recommend that you get a phone and that you get a stabilizer and a lapel mic. The worst thing when you're doing video is audio. And if you don't have really strong audio that comes in, then what happens is they lose interest and you'll see them go off of your video really quick. And so get a stabilizer, get a lapel mic. You can get a wireless lapel mic. This is a selfie stick that I use, and it's got a phone in it. It's got a button for it, and it wirelessly connects to my audio, and you can walk around and use that. I've got another one that's got a big light on it that lights my face up, and I actually prefer it to be dark. Little mystery. I like to be the international man of mystery instead of being so well lit.
If I can hop in real quick, Verl, just over the weekend, HAR added the virtual open house option to our app. So if you guys haven't updated your app, you need to do that. And all of these tips that Verl are giving are excellent for using that virtual open house app. So make sure you guys download the most current version of the app.
Love that. I love that HR is always cutting edge. The other thing is when you do
generating leads too, so that's great.
Totally. So let me give you some advantages of doing these virtual open houses and virtual showings. First of all, it creates a lot of scale. When you hold a house open on a Saturday, you can do maybe 1 or 2 on a Saturday. When you do them virtually, I can hold 5 or 6 open on a day because they're 15 to 20 minutes. I do my virtual open, I go to the next one. So I have the ability to create massive scale. The second thing that happens when you do it virtually is that it continues to live on after you close it. And so when you put it on your social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, you continue to drive more and more visual experience and exposure to that property. And so you're holding it open 24/7. And so now we're driving a lot more leads and a lot more views to the sellers. They can see you have a really cool marketing program. And then of course, when you do a price reduction or a market adjustment, then it becomes reusable, and you can reuse that same thing again and again and again because you don't talk price, you put that in the comments or the downloads. And so there's some really cool things that absolutely work. And I love people that are saying, oh, the virtual app's there, it's not that great. Nobody cares. Like, I don't even care. It's way better than the one you don't have. So use the tools that are available to you, turn it on, and then they'll continue to make them better and better. Like the fact that they have one and it's there is a great feature. Plug into it. And focus on the things you can control. Remember my first slide? Like, don't stress about things you can't control. Focus on the things you can control. Got it? If you can control it, fix it. If you can't control it, don't whine about it. Nobody cares. Can I say that without hurting anybody's feelings? Like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I really don't care.
You didn't hurt my feelings, so we're good.
All right. So number 3 is we have to continue to provide information of value and services that are needed to our clients. That example where I said, hey, are you by your computer? And let's go up on there. Like, that's what I want, right? I want to make sure that we're providing real value. What's the need? When you ask people how I can help, the recent surge of agent inactivity is creating a vacuum in the world of real estate. Agents are pulling back. They're sitting around. No matter what, people are still going to need to buy and sell houses. And so when all these agents have given up and they've disengaged from their business, what happens is it gives you the opportunity to fill that need. And it's the need for your sphere of influence, for your communities, for your church groups, for your neighborhoods, and oftentimes it's for your families. And so in order to prove your value, you have to be able to handle transactions regardless of the restricted circumstance. So they don't need you when times are good. The reason we make so much money in real estate is because we know how to transact when things are hard. The reason agents make the kind of money they make is not because it's hard to sell houses. It's that when it's hard to sell houses, we can still do it. It's because of our ability to step up during adversity that makes us worth the money we get paid. And if all you do is sell houses when the market is good and easy, then you have no value in this industry. And I really mean that. I want you to be amazing at real estate when it's hardest, because that's why our value is where it is. Like the real estate transaction is getting more and more complicated, and there's more paperwork and more contracts and more disclosures and more inspections than it ever has been. And then there's all this downward pressure on our commissions. In order to justify any commission rate at all, I believe we have to become bigger experts in the business. We have to provide more value without any strings attached. And if you think about how I can provide value without strings attached, that's when you start becoming a true trusted advisor instead of just another salesperson with a pitch. And so some of the things that we can do today, we can create our list of updated home showing etiquette. You know, we kindly ask if you experience fever, chills, coughing, sneeze, or any of these symptoms that you don't come in our house. By taking the following precautions, we aim to demonstrate our sincere commitment to helping keep clients safe. Please be mindful of how many services you are touching throughout your showing. We appreciate and understand your cooperation. Like, how about this? Don't touch anything. Come to my open house, but don't touch anything. All the services have been disinfected prior to showing, and we're going to do it after you leave the house as well. All the doors have been left open, so you don't have to open doors and touch my handles. The lights have been turned on. Please leave them on. We'll turn them off when you're done. And so this is a great sheet. By the way, all of the content and things that I'm sharing with you, I'm going to give available on that download sheet. I know this is good stuff, isn't it? I love that you are engaged and want it. We have to create safe in showing processes. And no, I'm not going to have them emailed to you. You're going to go to my download page and download them, where you'll give us an information exchange and tell us who you are, and then we'll follow up with you for the lifetime cycle of you as a client. So we're just going to stay in touch. These are real. So I reached out to a couple of my clients last night. Christina, you're seeing content I haven't shared with anybody else ever. This is like so fresh. We just made it last night. So I reached out to one of my best teams, and I said, okay, show me what you're doing to provide safe showing options. And so this is Mark Seiden here on the left. He's a guy in Westchester, New York. He has booties and gloves at every house, and a COVID-19 questionnaire you have to figure out, okay? The second one is Mark Boylan's team, and Mark Boylan is also in New York. And then the one on the right is, I can't tell you who that is, but it's a client care package. And if you look inside the client care package, it's got a mask, gloves, booties, and everything you need to be able to walk through. And so what they do is they make it available to everybody who wants to come to the showings, so that we create a safe environment for them to walk through. I love this one. So these are a couple of things. The one, adding value to your community and making light of things is great. I love the parades for teachers, and I love the things that people are doing in their communities. How many of you have had kids that haven't been able to have a birthday party? And with little kids, that's a big deal. So Anthony Margulis, he's one of my coaching clients in Pacific Palisades, California. He bought 50 flamingos. And you can order on Facebook that you're going to have a birthday for your kids, and he'll bring out and say, happy birthday from Amalfi Estates. Hope your birthday starts off on the right foot. And he puts out 50 pink flamingos in your front lawn, wishing you a happy birthday. And anybody in the community can request that, and then his team goes out and does that. Love that idea. Christy Buck's team this year, she always does a thing called egging, where they go out and they do Easter eggs to the families that have bought houses from them in the past. Well, they had to do virtual egging this year. And so they lined up with all her branded cars, and they drove down the street with the Easter bunny, and the kids would come out, and then they had safe prepackaged eggs. If the mother said it was okay, they would clean and distribute those. She said it was our biggest Easter event, was when we couldn't engage with people. So they found ways to engage, which I absolutely love. And I'm so proud of her being able to do things like that. So what are you doing to engage? Instead of why can't I do something? What can you do? What are the things you can do to make a difference? Support your local businesses. Offer to donate or raise money. Hold an online contest with a drawing for a gift card to one of your local restaurants that's a drive-up only. Buy products or dinners for your clients. Research how local vendors, how adapted their services, and then share that with other people. There are so many things we can do from a service perspective to stay at the front of the mind of our clients. And I just want to encourage you all to do that at the highest level. Number 4 in my 4 steps today is to go above and beyond to elevate your client care. And that means to serve regardless of the opportunity. And a lot of people don't know how to serve. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. All they know how to do is to sell. Hey, Christine, are you thinking about buying or selling a house? Did the coronavirus make you move? Is everybody off their job? You gonna move? Like when I have that dialogue, doesn't that feel icky? It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it's icky.
Like nobody wants to be sold anything. So let's just serve. And so what can we do to serve? So here's some ideas. How about you check in on your past clients? I call it your top 50 list, and just help them get what they need. Do things even if they aren't visible to others. Serve for the sake of serving, not for the sake of selling. Ensure that service is part of your regular routine by enhancing your action plans and workflows. So put systems in place that are reminders to you to do something without expecting anything in return. I think that's a big deal. You know, now is not the time to slow down and sit back and write it out. Now's the time to buckle down and get into it, to lean into the problem. It's not the time to pivot. It's the time to bounce and move forward towards whatever your goal is. And I know this isn't fair, Christina, but nothing you do today is going to make a difference in your closings in May. Everything you focus on right now is going to pay you 60 to 90 days from now. So the activities that you're focused on today are going to determine whether or not you have a paycheck in June, July, and August. So what are you going to do today? Are you going to sit back? Because if you wait another 30 days to really engage, you're going to be 90 days after that before you have transactions. And so focus on the activities today that will put you in a position to be able to be earning and taking care of your family going forward. So I don't know if this is helpful to you guys, if this has been a helpful event, but I want to make sure that I can answer any questions that you have. The 4 key points that I talked about today are: number 1, build for the bounce. Number 1, choose accountability. Choose what you're going to focus on. Hold yourself accountable, get an accountability partner. Number 2, virtualize everything you do and create systems around it. Number 3, provide information of value and needed services to your clients, not fake it. And then go above and beyond. If you'll go to this site right here, buildforthebounce.com, and just give me your information, you can have access to my training center. It'll be open until the end of May. You can use it as much as you want, download stuff. All you do is when you go to the sign up screen on the drop down menu where it says Houston Association of Realtors, click that box. That way we know where you came from, and you'll have access to it because you were on this webinar today. And like, if you have team members or people that aren't here, I just want you to just feel free to have them jump on and do it. And then this will be my last slide. Then what I'd like you to do is, I would like you to think about the questions that you have right now. You can ask me anything. Let's just open up the call for 10 minutes of Ask Verl. And so if you have questions or things that you're curious about or would like some help focusing on in your business, let me spend a few minutes with you and just help you with it. This is where you go, workmansuccess.com/virtual Houston. Here's all the things I said I'd give you. Becoming a master of virtual real estate, which is a white paper, outreach calls of things you can do when you're calling on clients and want to know what you can do to help them, how to keep your team accountable, COVID-19 scripts, virtual services to offer, and virtual buyer showing process that we've done to keep everybody safe. And then, of course, access to our training center with Ramp, BAM, AMP, and SLAM, and all of the training that's out there. Okay, so you're on the sign-up slide, so you're on it, so just go there. Okay, Rosemary, you're welcome. Appreciate you being here. Come on, somebody give me some hard questions. I need some Verl questions. Like, it's Coach Verl, and I'm here to answer anything that happens. So we've got agents
to solve your problems, guys.
Yeah, bring it on. Give me something hard, Christina. You know, I've been thinking about this. So how do we have agents that are producing so much real estate in such hard areas? And the reason is because they stopped selling. They just started, right? Okay, how do you handle this when you just started? Oh, Jackie. Okay, Jackie, I love you. And I want you right now before everybody screws you up. And so what I want you to do is I want you to go into the Workman Success System right here, Build for the Bounce, and I want you to sign up, and then I want you to go through Ramp. Ramp is 90 days. It's a video every single day for the next 90 days. You only get free access for 30 days, so I want you to do 3 a day for the next 30 days and do all the activities that I give you. And then at the end, you'll be in a position to be closing 2 transactions a month for the rest of the year. So if you follow what I teach you in Ramp, I'm going to get you to where you can do 2 deals a month for the rest of the year, and then we'll double next year. So that's where I would start with you. So great question. Robin, HAR does rock, and I appreciate your enthusiasm. How do you answer buyers? I'm going to wait. Okay, let me go back to that. I'm going to wait and see what the market is going to do. Okay, so how do you think I'm going to answer that? Are you by your computer? Because if you're going to wait to see what the market's doing, I'm going to show them on the MLS. Let's go back to that slide for just a second. Let me go back to that slide for just a second. So let's see if I can find it really fast. Is that it? Okay, so what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to say, are you by your computer? I'd like to wait to see what the market's going to do. I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to say, let's take a look. So right now, you know how to do absorption rates? An absorption rate, when it tells you whether or not you have more than 30 days of inventory, or 45 days, or 60 days. Right now, we have a limited amount of inventory, which means it's a seller's market. But because there's a lot of people that can't get in and don't want to show houses, it's created opportunities. When I see 77 price decreases, that means people are getting in line with their pricing. So based on this information, how would you like to proceed? So you don't have to tell them what to do. You have to show them what's going on in the market. The market will tell them what to do, and then you can support them with whatever they decide. Do I think mailing cards is bad because all concerns regarding Corona? Absolutely not. We've increased mailing in our geographic farming in almost every market, so we're doing more. And so it's basically, so Shad, hey Shad, how you doing, bud? So how many cards is based on your budget? So you have to look at your budget and whether or not you have other people participating with you in your mailing, and then we increase the number that we're sending out. Okay, appreciate that. So what advice do you have for sellers whose homes are priced just right, but showings and offers aren't coming in as fast as they'd like? Well, you answered your own question. If showings and offers aren't coming in and you think their house is priced right, there's one of three things you can change: price, condition, or location. Can you change the location of the property? Can you change the condition of the property? Maybe. If not, then you're left with doing a market adjustment. The market tells you whether or not your house is priced right. So if it's in a fast selling price range and yours isn't selling, then you need to increase your virtual showings, increase your open houses, and start tracking the online views that that property is getting. If you're getting 10 online views of the property and no one's writing an offer, then it's price, condition, or location. Which do you think we should move? So I would use that dialogue. And by the way, that dialogue is in the training center. And so how do you use that dialogue, and how do you get, I call it course corrections, not price reductions. The market tells you how you're doing, and then we have to make course corrections during the process. Great questions. Okay, I'm probably missing some, Christina. Help me with the questions.
Vu had a quick question that I could answer. Where do you find the market watch that you're showing? That's on the home screen of Matrix. You also have a stats button on the top navigation bar for more detailed statistics. We're on Michelle now. What do you do when you gain great momentum? Then my mom got sick. I'm her caretaker. As soon as I could, so she had great momentum, but had to stop because of an illness in the family.
You just take care of your mom and just love her. And then when you're able to come back and transact, then come back. Okay. I mean, my real advice is you gotta stay safe. And there's nothing more important than staying safe, especially when you have somebody at risk. Okay. And you're a caregiver for them. So your choice is to find somebody who will help you in real estate, and then pay them for the services they provide your clients. You should continually be connecting with people to stay at the front of their mind. And when those opportunities present themselves, find someone that will help you. So either a team member or an agent in your brokerage, or someone you've got a good relationship with that handles clients the way you do, someone who you've had a mutually respectful business relationship with, that's licensed, and get somebody to help you. And it's okay to pay them a little bit. Pay them a little bit to have them help you. People are willing to help. We have agents in the same office who, in the same team, who can't show because they've got people that are at risk in their homes. So other agents are showing, and they're charging them $25 an hour. Mm-hmm. And so they're paying an hourly rate to show properties, and they're able to continue to transact.
Okay. And we wish your mother good health, Michelle.
Absolutely.
If you could show the sign-up slide again, Verl. A few people were asking for that. And while you do that, I'll read Stacy. She said, do you have a script or dialogue? Script or dialogue regarding the current market conditions and quite possibly having sellers bring money to the table?
We haven't had that problem yet. Okay. And so that's when we get into short sales and we start dealing with distressed properties. We're in a seller's market. There's less than 3 months inventory. And so we're in a seller's market, and I've got all kinds of statistics that show that that the pent up demand. What's happening right now is people spend 15% of their available income to qualify for a house today. In 2008, when everything crashed, they were spending almost 30%, 25.5% of their income to get in a home. And so they didn't have any equity. And so people just walked away from their homes or had to come up with cash. Today, we've had consistent growth of equity of 6 to 8% per year, and not that big, huge, massive equity bought that was artificial. And so people are in a better situation today than they were in the past. There still may be some people that are in a distressed situation, and you'll be honest with them on what they are and how they come up with, if they have to come up with cash. But it's not the standard. We're not focused on distressed real estate today. We're focused on, it's better for you to stay in the house. So most people have that ability. When they lose their job and they don't have any equity, it's very, very rare. Okay.
Rosemary said, what do you say to an investor who wants to know if they should rent their property or sell it in this market?
Well, so my answer to that is it depends on their situation, right? The rental market's really strong. And so if you've got people, what I do with my rentals is I'm $50 to $100 less than other rentals that are comparable, but I'm a lot more choosy with who my client is. And so I have a better tenant, but I'm willing to accept a little bit less because I don't have to fix up the properties. They don't trash them. They have good jobs, things like that. So every situation is different. So I would ask more questions. If they're financially in a place where they can't handle the rental and they don't have the ability to fix it up and maintain it and keep it well, then it might make sense for them to sell it. And I have a boatload of investors. Matter of fact, I'm one. I'll look at the property and we'll see if it makes sense to buy it. So you should be looking at those for yourself, right? Every situation is unique. What makes us great as realtors is we are trusted advisors. And so if you put yourself in a position of a trusted advisor and you really ask the questions to find out what their true scenario is, then you can give them the right advice. I can't give it to you here because I haven't asked all those questions. When you go to workmansuccess.com/virtualhouston, you'll get the downloads and there will be a follow-up link to sign up for the training center. So that'll come to you, okay?
Very good. Two similar questions here from Joanne and Melaine, I think it is. Elaine said, what do you say to second home buyers that say, I'm waiting for the price adjustment?
It could be a long wait. I mean, who gets the deals in this world? Here's the thing. When you educate your client, so here's the deal. I don't tell people if they should buy or sell. What I do is I give them all the data so they're the most informed person in the transaction. And so when someone says, I'd like to wait, I want to wait till the price drops, I'm going to say, well, let me show you what happens. Here's the houses that are priced. Here's the ones that sold. Here's the ones that didn't sell. And the people who bought at this range. So having all that data gives them the ability to decide whether or not they want to move forward. And if the data's right and they're just saying, I want to wait, maybe that's not the real reason. So I'm going to dig deeper to find out what the real reason is. So those are the things that I'm going to do. Data drives almost every conversation or objection when you understand how to quickly access it. And we have to be really good at it. Like you ought to be able to get into your HAR and you ought to be able to pull comps quickly and show absorption rates and what people are buying and selling. And if you can do that, you're going to have a lot more opportunities to close deals. Thank you for not making my class be a CE class because I'm able to teach them how to sell and I can really teach them how we do this business right. And I would much prefer that. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, this has been great, Verl. It's 1 o'clock and I know you're a busy man. This is, a lot of people are asking, is this recorded? Yes, it was recorded. We will have it up on almost all of the HAR social media platforms except for Instagram later this afternoon. We do have a question that came in from Rita Blevins. Will you come back in May?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because everyone's going to be, tell Rita that we're going to actually, we need to turn this training center on for everybody after the free period's over. So we're going to figure out how to make that happen. We've been working with HAR for a long time and they're a great partner and we always try and find ways to serve. So anything I can do to help the amazing agents in Houston, just sign me up. I'll be there.
Great. Thank you so much, Verl. This has been wonderful. And I did see a lot of people asking about questions about the market and predictions and things like that. Again, we are going to have, Dr. Ted C. Jones, Chief Economist for Stewart Title on the 30th. So make sure you sign up for that session. It's www.har.com/webinars, plural webinars. to sign up for that. And again, we will have this entire recording up later this afternoon. Verl, thank you again for your time. This has been wonderful.
Thanks, everybody. Stay safe and keep transacting. I'll talk to you soon.
Very good. Bye-bye.